Okay, I got another box in the mail. So let's unbox this one. So we grab the pull tab. There. Slide it open, and what do we slide out? Oh, it's upside down. All right, so we'll turn it over. This is Metamorphosis Alpha. This is the hardback copy of Metamorphosis Alpha. The newest edition, I'm not sure what edition this one is. Welcome to my channel. I focus on tabletop role-playing games, video games, and science fiction. I opened up the box and got a copy of Metamorphosis Alpha 4th edition. I was all excited. The copy is, as you can see, a little banged up. I was expecting this was supposed to be a brand new hard copy. It's a little bit worn on the cover. Nothing bad. I mean, some pressure marks or whatever. So I read this, and then I opened up the book and I started reading. Now, if you don't know, Metamorphosis Alpha is based upon two books. One by Robert Heinlein called Orphans in the Sky, and one by Harlan Ellison called Phoenix Without Ashes. And I'll put links to both of those from Amazon. They're both great books. I think I prefer Heinlein to Ellison, but they're both well-known godfathers of science fiction. They stand very tall. They've written a tremendous body of work, both of them, and both books are great books, and I highly recommend you read them. And then forget this piece of dreck. I read through this and I get to page 3. Survival on the Starship Warden. First off, disaster on Starship Warden. And I go, what did they do? The generation ships described in Orphans in the Sky and Phoenix Without Ashes, that was the basis of the game. That's not the basis of this. They did something horrible, in my opinion. It's just my opinion that this isn't the Starship Warden, which is the generation ship. This is no longer a generation ship. This is a cold sleep ship, which is very different from a science fiction technology. A cold sleep ship that runs into an alien asteroid. So they completely changed the plot. In Orphans in the Sky and in Phoenix Without Ashes, you're exploring a vast starship, an unknown world that you're trying to understand, that you just barely learned is actually a starship, and you're trying to understand that. That's not what this is. And then they threw in some paranoia. And what I mean by that, that's another role-playing game where you play clones and you die very easily. And let me read, this paragraph. It's very likely that the player's robot and android characters won't survive even a single session during Phase 1 and Phase 2 play. And anyway, it goes... If a robot is smashed to bits or melted into radioactive slag, let the players choose another one and keep playing. After all, they're only robots and androids. Suicide missions are what they're built for. Okay, that's a very valid approach in the game Paranoia. If you haven't played the game Paranoia, that's there. But they took what I thought was a great game and they changed the flavor of it. This to me is a completely different flavor than the first edition, because this isn't this is not the Metamorphosis Alpha I knew and loved. I enjoyed Metamorphosis Alpha. I remember drawing up my starship and figuring out how they were going to play it and actually running some sessions with this thing. This is like some other games I bought, is probably going to go up on the wall and it'll be a reference book, but I'm not interested in playing this. This is not the game that I enjoyed and the game that I loved. This is something else that I don't think, just through the initial skimming of this thing, I would really want to play. Because your characters, two of the main types of characters are throwaway, which is kind of unusual because that's not the, and there's no exploring the world, it's exploring the world that's after it's ran into this alien, and why did they have to introduce aliens? If you read the original source material of Orphans of the Sky or Phoenix Without Ashes, you didn't need aliens. The world was fascinating, interesting place to go. So I don't recommend this. I think this has got an odor about it, odor of excrement, because they took a excellent basis for the game and discarded it so they could introduce aliens. So tell me what you think. Have you played this? Have you read the original source books, Orphans in the Sky or Phoenix Without Ashes? What do you think about this? Maybe I'm just being grumpy and crotchety and so on, because this is just not what I wanted. This is not the game that I wanted. This is something else entirely, and to me it's a bait and switch. They took something great, something based upon great stories, and switched it with something else. And I don't know what it is. So I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to hear what people say who would love to defend this, who think that this is fun. I mean, it might be an interesting game, but it's not the game I was expecting. And that's the problem I have with it. If this had a different name, I wouldn't have a problem, but it doesn't it isn't based upon the same ideas as the first edition. Thank you for watching my video. I look forward to learning what you think about this video. Let me know in the comments below. I appreciate all your comments. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, give me a thumbs down. I appreciate both forms of feedback. If you're new here and would like to subscribe, you can click on the icon on the left. If you're interested, there's more content on the right.